All right, folks. What do you say we just go ahead and get started? Seems like a plan. It's the only one I got, so that's what we're going with. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to another Thursday night here on GiantBomb.com, where I do the drumming. I'm sitting in front of the drums, so I got to do the drums. That's just how it works. It's been a week, and if you want to hear myself and the folks on the Giant Beastcast talk about what's been going on, we discussed that at the top of this week's Beastcast. I don't know that I really want to linger on it too much right now. I think I just kind of want to get into some music because I need just something to release the tension in my muscles and my brain. So I think we're going to do it. I had talked about last week loading up Guitar Hero World Tour this week, but I think I'm going to put that off for 1 week on account of their charting in that game is just off enough from what I'm used to that I feel like I would not do a great job if I just jumped right into it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this next week because I have not really played it all over the last week. I have not practiced hardly at all. We're going to take next week and we're going to go for the Guitar Hero World Tour. And I tested it out. I played it. It all works, so we can do it. It's just that the layout and the way that stuff is charted is a little different, and I just need to kind of reacclimate myself to how that game is played. So instead, I threw together a playlist, and by threw together, I mean I literally put it together last night. Not really a theme, just all bands that I have yet to play in any of these streams so far. Believe it or not, there are a whole lot I haven't touched yet. So we're going to play a bunch of new bands. New bands, they're old bands, but they're bands that I have not yet played. So why don't I go ahead and hit this here A button, and then we can kick this thing off. What do you say? I think that's a good idea. So we're going to do it. And there's the game. Beautiful. All right, let's do it.
and the crowd is growing bigger. Listening for the happy sound, now I got to let them flow.
Hope you like the Doobie Brothers, because we got one of them. I don't actually know any of the names of any of the people in the Doobie Brothers. I assume they're all named Doobie. And I don't want anyone to correct me on that. Anyone at all. So don't. One of the things we'll be doing on tonight's playlist is we'll be knocking out a couple of oft-requested bands that I have not yet gotten to. And one of them's up next. They're called Sleater-Kinney. Song's a workout. And just an energy that I needed to play today. So there you go. Whew. All right. What's up next? I actually don't remember. Like I said, I put this playlist together in the dead of night last night. I only half remember what I put on here. So let's find out together. Ah, here we go. Fun fact, the current drummer for Steely Dan, Keith Carlock, I use his drumsticks. These are the Keith Carlock Signature Series sticks. They're basically jazz sticks. They're very thin, have very tiny tips. But you know what? They are perfect for playing rock band drums. You break them real fast if you try and play anything heavier than that on them. But here, works just fine. All right. If I remember correctly, this next one is one of the free songs they put out as part of Rock Band Rivals. And it's pretty fun. I don't know if it's a harmonics band or not. I think it is a Boston band, though. Here we go. Steely Dan is not current Real Johnny, but they do still tour. They still play, and they have a current drummer. Sometimes when you play the drums, you just want to hit a crash cymbal for a while. Like, as fun as technical, intricate, crazy drumming can be, sometimes you just want to bang the shit out of a crash cymbal. And that's mostly what that song is. And you know what? It's a lot of fun. The next song will also be a lot of fun, but will be considerably harder. We'll see. I'll probably get 5. Maybe I'll get 5 stars on this one. I don't know. It's by a little band. Maybe you heard of them. They're on the come up. They're called Anthrax. This is Caught in a Mosh. First gold. I'll take it. Hell yeah. Oh, man. This song's a workout. Charlie Benante, hell of a drummer. Anthrax, maybe not the band, first or maybe second band you come up with when you say favorite metal bands, but they have some good shit. It's kind of criminal that the Public Enemy Anthrax version of Bring the Noise is not in this game anywhere. It should be. That's what I think. Though at this point, I imagine licensing anything from Public Enemy is probably an issue, given the current dynamic between Chuck and Flav, you know? So, speaking of which, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, the good people over at MinMax invited me to do a podcast last week. It was their Mintrax show, hosted by Matt Helgeson, and it's the show where each person submits an album they want to talk about, and we talked about it for a while. I submitted Deftones Around the Fur, because it is my favorite Deftones album, and also why use the synergy of the 20-year anniversary of White Pony when you can talk about a totally different album, is my thinking. And Matt submitted Public Enemy's It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, which is still one of the all-time greats of rap. It was a very fun conversation. I highly recommend checking it out. Mintrax. It was a good time. I have not had a chance to really cut it up about music with like another person in a while. I saw my bandmates on a voice call earlier today, or last night, and it was the first time I'd seen their faces in probably like 2 or 3 months. And I gotta tell you, it was nice. It was nice to see those knuckleheads again. Who the fuck knows when we're ever gonna be able to play music again, but it was good to see them. All right. Let's keep this moving right along, because I, again, don't remember what's next. So let's find out together. Oh, here we go. This is a slightly different tone. Tell you what I can go for, some Hall Oates. How did I make it 14 weeks into this feature without playing any Hall Oates? What was I doing? Why did that happen? How did that happen? Doesn't seem possible, but it is. I hadn't played them yet. Consider that mistake rectified. I will say sometimes playing those songs, it's not a straight beat. Like obviously there's the tom stuff that kind of intersperses the different measures, but when you get into one of those songs where it's just the beat and there isn't really any fills or anything that really changes it up that much, sometimes you just forget how to play drums for a second. Like I felt a couple of times there where I was just hypnotized a little bit and completely forgot what I was even doing. My arms were just kind of moving by themselves. Pontiac asking, how can you get a full combo and there be people with more points? That's a good question. So the way this works is that sometimes if you just hit the overdrive, which is the double points thing, if you just hit it every time it becomes available, you don't necessarily get the maximum score out of it, because at the end of that one there was a little bit of overdrive left that I had not played. So oftentimes what people will do to get the maximum scores is hold off on hitting that until a particular opportune time when they can max out the amount of overdrive they're playing. I don't do that much because as much as I like having high scores, I have not taken the time to study individual songs' overdrive charts to make sure I'm hitting at the exact opportune times. And here's the thing. It's fine. If I remember to beat the scores later down the road, great. If not, who cares? I'm just here to have fun. I hope you all are too. Let's continue. Once again, don't remember. Oh, here we go.
I don't know what the world may be, but I'm sure as hell that it starts with
Another one of those inexplicable ones where, yeah, I think that song was fairly popular, but how is Cracker's Low not in this game? Like, Low is the song I think everyone, at least in North America, remembers Cracker for. Like, Teen Angst is a good song, but it's just like, okay, that's not the first one I thought of. Licensing, yeah, probably. Anywho, what do we got? Let's do a few more, and then we'll take a short break, and I'll talk to all of you. And there we go. I don't remember what the next one is. I think I remember what the last two of this section are. Oh, here we go.
Why can't I be the baker's deal? Didn't find a home to rob. Why can't I lie and cheat and steal? Who wants an honest job? And if I curse you night and day, my integrity's been tried. While I waste my life away, why don't you try and hide? The end has just begun. Your bastard life's been run. The end has just begun. Your bastard life's been run. The end has just begun. Your bastard life's been run. The end has just begun. Your life's been run. My bastard son. Why can't I turn on the light and see 'em all alone? Why can't I change my liar's life and find myself a home? And if I did, what would I be? Lost into misery. So if there's truth, you better keep it away from me. Why can't I shut the window tight and keep the world outside? And with no friend in sight to help me fight the tides. My own mess in a hotel room in a switchblade night. Why must I find the truth so soon? And in this bastard's life, the end has just begun. Your bastard life is gone. The end has just begun. Your bastard life is gone. The end has just begun. Your bastard life's been run. The end has just begun. Your life's been run. My bastard son.
I can scarcely begin to tell you how delighted I was when I think this was on the Rock Band 3 soundtrack. I remember seeing that on the list and just being elated that the Swingin' Utters had found their way into Rock Band. Because as someone who grew up in the Bay Area punk scene of the 90s, I absolutely associate the Swingin' Utters with going to a lot of shows around that area, both in Petaluma and down at Gilman Street in Berkeley. It was just oh wow, that's a blast from the past. It'd be like if they went out and licensed like a Veil or 15 or something, like a Tilt. All bands that are great, but just not necessarily the ones I would expect like them to go out and get for a music game. Can't be mad at it though. It's a great song. They should put more in there. Get more of that old Bay Area punk in there. All right, this next one is probably the slowest of all the jams from tonight, but we haven't played this band yet. There's a few songs of theirs in the game, and I feel like we should christen this. Just get them out there. Let's do it. Here we go. Zombie Pie. Yes, I do remember when the Bay Area punk scene turned on Green Day when they signed to a major label. I remember when they turned on Jawbreaker. I had some friends that went and protested a couple of Jawbreaker shows after they signed to a major label. They went on to regret that.
This is what you get when you mess with us. Camera police, I've given all I can, it's not enough. I've given all I can, but we're still on the payroll. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us. For a minute there, I lost myself. I lost myself. For a minute there, I lost myself. I lost
Listen, I am at heart a karma police abolitionist. I believe they should be defunded, but nonetheless, it is a good song. The thing is, I will say that when putting together these playlists, I sometimes have a tendency to skip over the 0-star difficulty songs because I'm worried they're going to be boring, people aren't going to be into it. Two things. One, sometimes those 0-star difficulty songs are still jams. Like Karma Police is still a damn jam. The other thing is that if I don't start playing more of those songs, at some point we're going to get to the end of the library, and all I'm going to have left are 0-star difficulty songs in Nickelback, and no one wants that. No one wants that. So we gotta, just gotta start interspersing that stuff where we can. Just saying. Okay. We're gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna talk to all of you for a little bit. Take a little quick breather. So let's play one more. Here we go.
I want you to know I'm happy for you. I wish nothing but the best for you both. I know the version of me. Is she perverted like me? Would she go on you in a theater? Does she speak eloquently? And would she have your baby? I'm sure she'd make a really excellent mother. 'Cause the love that you gave to me wasn't able to make it for you to be open wide. And every time you speak her name, you know you told me you don't do it till you die. Till you die, but you're still alive. And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It's not fair to deny me of the cross I bear that you gave to me. You ought to know. You seem very well. Things look peaceful. I'm not quite as well. I thought you should know. Did you forget about me, Mr. Duplicity? I hate to bug you in the middle of dinner. There was a slap in the face, how quickly I was replaced. And are you thinking of me when you her? 'Cause the love that you gave to me wasn't able to make it enough for you to be open wide. Every time you speak her name, you know you told me you don't do it till you die. Till you die, but you're still alive. And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It's not fair to deny me of the cross I bear that you gave to me. You ought to know.
I think that was my first time full comboing that. Fantastic. I think if I'm remembering correctly, isn't like the 25-year anniversary of Jagged Little Pill, like now-ish? It was 95, wasn't it? It's a great album. I can't say that I have really followed her stuff much beyond that record, but it is a great record. I should go back and listen to that. I haven't listened to the whole thing in a long time. Whew. All right. Well, with that, let's take a little break. If you've got any questions in the chat you would like to fire my way, feel free to do so while I catch my breath. Dr. Fat 32 asking, have you played any festivals or been to any memorable ones? It would have been Glastonbury 50 this weekend. The only real festival show I ever played was that Ska Against Racism show in 98, 97, 98 in Irvine, California. I played some small ones that you never would have ever heard of. That was the only one that was like kind of a slightly bigger thing. But no, I've never played on any like big festivals before. I have been to some. I definitely, let's see, I went to, what the hell is that one they have in San Francisco, or had in San Francisco? I don't know if they still do it. Is it Outside Lands? I've been to a couple of those. I went to several Warped Tours over the years to varying degrees of quality. I don't like festivals for the most part. It's not that I don't like seeing a lot of good music. It's just that the outdoor venues rarely sound that good, and you're jammed in with so many people. And it's not like it's that much better when you're in like a club environment and you're jammed in with that many people. But I don't know, something about being at a festival has never really felt good to me. So I don't go to a lot of those kind of shows. Siku asking, have you listened to the new Hum album? Yes. So if you weren't paying attention this week, and you would be absolutely forgiven for not doing so, Hum dropped their first record in 22 years, surprise, this week. And it's great. I've listened to it a few times already. It just straight up sounds like what, to me at least, what they would have made if they just put out another record 2 years after Downward is Heavenward. So, yeah, it's awesome. It's on their Bandcamp. I assume it'll be on streaming services soon. Go check it out. It's very good if you like Hum, and I love Hum. I love Hum. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. Let's see what else we got. Candlejack, have you any thoughts on the new Lamb of God album? Have not heard it yet. I will check that out shortly. I have been bad about keeping up with new stuff for the most part. Like, I had 5 people all immediately DM me about the Hum album, which was great. But as far as like other stuff, I have not been paying close attention. Let's see what else we got. Cart Ninja asking, hi Alex, Rock Band 3 had hi-hat in freestyle mode, but I always wondered if there were attempts to add it to pro drums. If so, how far did any prototypes get? Thanks for the drumming. So I assume what you're talking about is like open hi-hat pedal type stuff. I'm not sure that ever got that far. I want to say, yeah, like I remember that there was like a trigger switch in that game. I think if you hooked up a second pedal, you could set it so that the blue gems, like the blue symbol gem, would switch over to here if you like opened it. I never really messed with that very much, and as far as I know, there were never really any other major attempts to do anything with that I can recall. Yeah, it's something that I would love, but it is extra equipment. The Ion drum rocker was by itself a weird enough thing that they were definitely not expecting a lot of people to buy it. And the cymbal packs, you know, like were kind of an after-the-fact sort of thing. I don't remember there being any like serious push to change the way hi-hats worked in the game, at least not while I was there. I've always been mixed on the whole blue hi-hat as the open hi-hat thing. I think it's good that they changed it up so that you're not just playing the hi-hat no matter what, but sometimes it works better than others. I don't know. Generic girl name asking, is it satisfying to break a drumstick while practicing, or is it just annoying? The first time I thought it was hilarious, and the subsequent 1,000 times after that, it stopped being cute. Sticks they're cheap, but they're not that cheap, you know? It's why I use kind of heavier ones when I'm playing live, because if I were to use these, they would just snap in an instant. Believe me, I've tried. Cudgel asking, are there any songs you could 5-star without looking at the screen? I'm sure some of like the easier stuff that's just straight 4/4 beat stuff I could probably do if I memorized it. I haven't, so I wouldn't say there are very many. I've really never even messed with like brutal mode in this game. I'm sure that's fun to some people. It's not to me. It's not really what I want. So, yeah. Dragon Show, any tips for calibrating drums in Rock Band 4? It seems really finicky. No. I'm pretty good at calibrating in general, though not flawless at it. But I think I've just gotten very used to the sort of knowing what my timing window is and calibrating to that. It's tricky in every one of these games. Like I was trying to calibrate Guitar Hero World Tour last week, and that took a while because it just like I felt like I was hitting it, but then like I was maybe going ahead of where the actual thing was, and then I was playing the song. I felt like I was like rushing to catch up with the beat constantly. It took a while. And I still don't know if I have it 100%, but you know, even sometimes when you just have settings written down for one game and you input them into another, it still doesn't feel quite the same. I don't know how to explain that. It just doesn't. Timing's weird. Timing's real weird. All right, let's take one or two more. RG Draconic asks, does playing with other people in Rock Band now throw you off at all? No, not at all. As long as I can see the chart and stuff is calibrated properly, it doesn't matter if there's other people playing or not. Now, granted, I have not played with other people in a while. There was a period where I was playing online semi-regularly, but I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I should again. I don't know. But yeah, no, it doesn't really throw me off. It doesn't even matter if they're playing badly. Like as long as I'm focused on my chart, then I'm fine. Oh, hey. Mega Destructo saying, hey, Alex, sup? That's Eric Chon, formerly of Harmonix. What up, Eric? Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Hope all is well with you. Everyone say hi to Eric. Eric's a good dude. All right. I think with that, we're going to jump back into the playlist. If I remember correctly, this next song is a song that one of my old bands just straight up stole the chorus from. And this is me paying restitution for that. Sorry, Steve Miller. Here we go. a really good song, to be fair. So, you know, I feel this much justified straight up stealing the chorus from Fly Like an Eagle. A lot of good messages in there. Maybe not a lot of practical solutions, but good messages, Steve Miller. Good messages. I probably told this story. I know I told this story during one of my Extra Life streams. To this day, Steve Miller remains the only famous person I've ever gotten high with. If you haven't heard the story, I will tell the very brief version of it. Steve Miller knows my Uncle Barron, my mom's, not my uncle. I call him my uncle because he's very close family. He is my mom's first husband. He has been friends with the family for a very, very long time. He is the former head photographer of Rolling Stone magazine. He knows a lot of people from that scene. Steve Miller is someone that he has, I don't know if he's kept up with him, but at the time, they still spoke. And so we got tickets to go see the Steve Miller Blues Band at the Fillmore in San Francisco, myself and my friend and my mom. And so we were up in the balcony watching the show, and then before they went on, Steve came up to the balcony to say hi. He had a big old joint like in his, he just with him. And, well, the rest is history. He's a very nice guy. That's my story. All right, this next band I have not gotten high with, and I don't think I can play this song high, that's for sure. It just came out in the game today. It was originally in Rock Band Network, but they just released it, and it's a bit of a tonal shift. I played it once beforehand just to not completely sight read this. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, that one goes, man. Holy shit. Whew. If you have never heard Converge before, let me tell you, they are amazing. Cannot recommend them enough. Whew. It's been a while since I've seen them. I think the last time I saw them, they were opening for At the Gates? Yeah, that sounds right. Very good. Very good live. Very good band. Absolutely check out Converge if you have not. Rafar saying if Alex is willing to play Converge, surely he's willing to play Dillinger. I'm not unwilling to play Dillinger. The Dillinger song in this game is way harder than that one is. That one's hard. Dillinger's harder. I'll get there one day, I promise. Whew. It's Farewell Mona Lisa, Little Dancing Man. I think there might have been others in Rock Band Network, but that's the only one they've brought over so far. So, yeah. All right. Whew. Okay. Caught my breath. I think this next one might be a little bit easier. At least I hope it is. Yeah, all right, it's fine. Here we go.
With a purposeful purpose and a terrible sound, he pulls the spinning high tension wires down. Helpless people on subway trains scream the guide as he looks in on them. He picks several us and he goes back down as he waves through the building toward the center of town. History shows again and again how nature points up the folly of men. Godzilla. History shows again and again how nature points up the folly of men. Godzilla. History shows again and again how nature points up the folly of men. Godzilla. History shows again and again how nature points up the folly of man. Godzilla!
Again, how did I make it 14 weeks without any Blue Oyster Cult? That doesn't feel right. There's a few of these I was very surprised by. Just never happened. Don't know. Couldn't tell you. All the Blue Oyster Cult songs in this game are fun. I don't know how I didn't get there before, but we got there now. And that's what's important. Okay. What's next? Let's see. I'm eager now. I've got my energy up, finally. Let's get it going. Converge did it. If we're honest, Converge is what got me going. Oh, here we go.
Hey, I got a message in tonight, I'm gonna send it. Hey, I had a body remember when I wanted to lend it. Sold my body to the company store. I got the money now, where I go? Thank you, Mr. CEO. Hey, I got some money in tonight, I'm gonna spend it. Yeah, they gave me paper and I went ahead and penned it. And I said, thank you, Mr. CEO. In my pockets and I might as well. I smell the back around a teenage jail. Feel like out, guess I might have back. Feel like science had to bring me back. I'm gonna die. Every morning seems so alive, but when it comes to cash, I'm gonna die alright. Hey, I lost the money, seems like I can't comprehend it. Yeah, I got a hole in my head, gotta mend it. Too messed up to sit and settle down. Too messed up to even mess around. That's why I'm smiling, Mr. CEO. In my pockets now, I might as well. I smell the vector out of teenage jail. In my account, 'cause I might have back. Rely on science, have to bring me back. We're gonna die. Not right now. Yeah, why don't you do the same? Got the money now, I can't complain. Except the next one go away. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And the way I feel tonight, it's gonna make me die right. In my pockets now, I might as well. Find a breaker out of teenage jail. In my account, 'cause I might have back. Rely on science, have to bring me back. We're gonna die. Every month seems so alive, but when it comes to cash, I'm gonna die alright.
The Hives are all right. They hold up okay. I feel like a lot of those garage rock bands from the early to mid-aughts maybe don't hold up super well, but the Hives are fun. They're good. They're solid. All right, let's see what's next. This is a discovery for me too. I totally forgotten. Oh, here we go.
It's getting late, have you seen my mates? My town and when the boys get up. It's 7 o'clock and I wanna rock. Wanna get a belly full of beer. My old man's a drunker than a
Apparently the theme this week, whether it was intentional or not, was songs that are a damn workout. Karma Police accepted, of course. Whew. All right, let's shake the arms out a little bit before we continue on. There's a couple of harder ones coming up. Whew. Okay, let's keep it moving. What's next? Oh, here we go.
Out of the street, you better get on home. Tail shaking, feeling running on. They said she got loose on the night she was born, cranking it up in a school zone. Kick it out, come on, kick it out. She said, kick out your motor and drive while you still alive. Kick it out. Sitting in a bar in this seaside town, sweet little love getting high, getting down. They say they see her running along the beach, laughing jump out of reach. Wild music blowing in her mane, she need a bareback rider, don't give her no pain. A hard racy game of give and take, she live on days half crazed and awake. Kick it out. She said, kick it out. Come on, kick out your motor and drive while you still alive. Kick it out. Oh yeah. Kick it out. Come on, kick out your motor and drive while you still alive. Kick it out. She said, kick it out. Oh, kick out your motor and drive while you still alive. Kick it out. Oh yeah. Oh, kick out your motor and drive now while you still alive. Kick it out. Ooh, yeah.
Short but good. Again, Heart. I don't know how I made it this far. Without Heart, doesn't feel right. There was going through making this playlist, I was discovering a lot of bands. I'm just like, how did I get that? How did that happen? Heart's so good. Heart is so good. You don't like Heart? I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to do. Don't know what to say. So let's not say anything. Let's just keep moving. Play 4 more, and then we'll take another break. Talk to you a little more. Here we go. Yeah, sure. I wasn't ready. Sorry. Remember, we don't miss first notes. That's the only rule.
Find a way out. Get what you can. Keep your head now. Listen when I sing. Come on, get out of here. Come on, get out of the bed. Come on, get out. God don't
will not get out, guy from the Vines, whose name I don't know. There are like 6 Vines songs in this game. Like 6. I didn't know the Vines had 6 songs. But they do. And somehow they're all here. Licensing, how does that shit work? Buy in bulk, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Ah! We don't miss first notes. That's the only rule. I also was so surprised that the song was even on here. Does every Asking Alexandria song have one of these parts in it? Because I feel like they all do. But I don't want to say that unless it's true. I feel like all of them have some sort of weird techno breakdown. I'm not against it necessarily, it's odd, that's all. Here's the thing. Metalcore is just not my genre. It's not for me. I've tried. I think that there is something to it with some of the bands, but it is just not for me. And I think I have come to that realization as a slew of late-aughts metalcore has found its way to this video game, because a lot of it was in Rock Band Network, and they are just relicensing a lot of that shit. It's not unfun to play in these games, I will say. But I don't think Asking Alexandria is the band for me. You know what I mean? So, there you go. This next one, if I'm remembering correctly, is a band for me. All right. Of all the bands from that like late 90s, very early aughts indie rock scene to go mainstream, if you had told me that Modest Mouse was going to eventually turn into like a radio hit band, I would have called you a goddamn liar. Because some of that early Modest Mouse stuff is very aggressively not to be enjoyed the way you would enjoy a radio hit. It's good music. It's just challenging in a way that I never would have expected them to morph into what they eventually did, which I don't mind what they turned into. I just never would have figured it would have been them. That's all. Anyway, put the entirety of Lonesome Crowd West in this video game, is what I'm saying. That is my petition. All right. Let's do one more, and then we're going to take another break. This next one is another band that is not for me, but I have no problem with them. They are a band that has been requested by some folks. They are a band that some people I know really love. Really, really love. And I respect that. even if it is not for me. Here we go.
Won't you step into the freezer? Caesar with a tweezer.
What an absolutely ridiculous song. Those are one of those bands that, like, again, not for me. I respect the musicianship. I respect what they do. Not for me. Whew. Again, they're fun to play. Again, it's great for video games, great for music games. Not great for me wanting to listen to on my own. But I have some friends who just adore Fish, just love them. Takes all kinds, as my grandmother used to say. Takes all kinds. All right. Let's take a few more questions from the chat, and then we will do the final 10 songs of this playlist, which do not contain any more Fish. I can promise you that much. Wow. BB4 Lake says, I just watched my 50th Nicolas Cage film during quarantine, Valley Girl. Still considering a Cage podcast. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to do it. I don't know when we're going to do it. It feels like a really dumb time to launch something that frivolous right now. But yeah, I would still like to do it. Valley Girl is a very good one. That is one of my favorites. Certainly of the 80s Cage movies, it is top 5. Maybe top 3. RG Draconic says, Fish. Why? Like I said, takes all kinds. Some people really like jam bands. Like some people like improvisational music. I like some of it, not Fish. I'm more into the jazz end of it, but even that I can only take in certain doses. Yeah. Dr. Fat32 asking, where would you spend money on a drum kit? Are you talking about where would I go to buy one? I don't really have a preference for the most part. I've ordered stuff through Musician's Friend before. I bought my current kit. The snare drum I ordered from Musician's Friend, I think, but the kit itself I ended up buying from Guitar Center. They're one of those brands that I rapidly expect to die any time now, not because they're bad, but they were one of the many companies bought up by Bain Capital for vulture capital purposes, and I keep waiting for the day that they just put the last knife in Guitar Center's back. Feels like it's coming. I don't know. Lays Sugam, how about a 10-ish song playlist of the longest RB songs? I've actually played a lot of them already. There's still definitely several, at least 8-minute plus songs that I have not done. But some of the longest ones I've already done. I did 2112. I've done one of these Fish songs. There's 2 8 or 9 minute ones of those. I played one of the Opeth songs, so, you know. Oh, spend money on which part is what Dr. Fat32 was asking. Not where I would go and buy stuff. I don't really need much for my kit right now. I'm pretty happy with the gear that I have. I bought a new set of hi-hats. That was the last thing I got, these 13-inch Zildjians that are really nice sounding. At some point, I might replace my double kick pedal. It's pretty old. It's still in good condition. It's just, it's old, and it doesn't necessarily have the tension I'm looking for anymore. I kind of need something that's a little tighter, and this one doesn't have quite that same feel to it. No matter how much I tighten it, it doesn't feel quite right. So I would say that's probably what I would spend my dumb money on, but right now I'm not looking to spend any dumb money. Everything I have works just fine. No gear lust at the moment. Just going to rock with what I got until something breaks. Jordan X Jordan asking, read anything good lately? So I'm the worst reader. I'm the worst. When I pick up a book, I start strong, and then it trails off, and then it takes me months to finish a book. Not because I'm a slow reader. It's that I'm just, my attention span it's difficult for me to sit and read for a long time. ADHD stuff. So I have to be in a real specific mood and mindset to want to sit down and read. So I've been working on Neuromancer, which is not a long book, for months, because I will just sit down and will read a chapter, and then my attention will start to wander. Not because it's not a good book, it's great, but it's one of the problems I've had my entire life. It's just, I read fast. I have to reread pages all the time because stuff just doesn't absorb quite right. The attention span wanders. So reading is not my favorite activity, if I'm completely honest with you. I love books. I love writing. I support book people. But I have my own challenges with that stuff. Steel Knight 2000 asking, how many bad songs are left to purge? Plenty. Don't you worry about that. Let's see what else we got. Gardamus asking, listen to any Idols? Yeah, I like their last record. I don't know a lot about that band, but I heard the last album and I liked it a lot. You know, okay, this is funny. Kane High Window 9 asking, you ever been a fan of Can? They have one of the best drummers that I know of. So I just rewatched the episode of Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown where he went to Cologne, and the keyboardist, or the piano player from Can was on there. So I have listened to a little bit of Can outside of that, but they're not a band I've like really explored that much. But that's really funny that you mentioned them, that I just happened to see them last night. That's funny. Take a couple more here. 3OCT asking, what percentage of the total amount of DLC do you have north of 80%? Yes. North of 90%? Yeah. Beyond that, I'll let you speculate. Justin on tap, electronic drums worth looking into. Yeah, if you want to play. If you live in a place where having acoustic drums is just not really possible, and you want to play, a good electronic kit is a great way to play, and a great way to practice, and a great way to learn. Don't spend a lot of money if you're going to learn. If you just want a kit that you're going to start beginning to play on, don't throw a bunch of money at it. You don't need like an expensive, super varied drum brain. You don't need like fancy pads. Just something that will make sounds that sound like a drum set and that, you know, won't break the bank is just fine. Don't feel compelled to go crazy with that, because there's some really nice, really expensive electronic drum sets out there, and they're great for like professionals or even just like intermediate players who've been playing for a while, but you don't need most of what those kits offer if you're just learning. All right. Last one, GG Funk asking, any ideas which song you played the most number of times? That's a good question. I don't think the game tracks that, so I can't look it up. If I had to guess, probably Flirtin' with Disaster by Molly Hatchet, which is another one I haven't played yet on this, and is not on this playlist, but we will play it down the road. That would be my guess. It does track it. You can sort by the total number of plays on the track list. Okay. Well, I can't do that. Check that from here, but I will report back later when we're done here. And keep in mind that this will only be tracking what I played in this game, because I probably played some of that earlier stuff in the other games a whole bunch of times too. So that's something to keep in mind. So there. All right. Let's do these final 10 songs, and then what do you say we call it a night, folks? What do you say? Here we go. I don't remember what's next. Oh, hell yeah.
It's alright.
at the end, but nonetheless. Whew. So good. That song has, okay, the perfect snare tone doesn't exist. It is a false high that people chase. It doesn't exist. You can have great snare tones that work for tons of different songs. That out of the way. That album, that song, has maybe one of the closest examples I can ever point to and say, that is like near my ideal of what a snare tone should sound like. So there. Let's see what's next. Ooh, okay, a weird one. Here we go.
What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel, got to go round. Talking about your troubles, it's a crying sin. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel spin. You got no money and you got no home. Spinning wheel, all alone. Talking about your troubles and you never learn. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel turn. Did you find the directing sign on the straight and narrow highway? Would you mind the reflecting sign? Just let it shine within your mind and show you the colors that are real. Someone is waiting just for you. Spinning wheel, spinning true. Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride. Ha! Someone's waiting just for you. Spinning wheel, spinning true. Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel fly.
That song is a lot of fun, to be fair. It gets real weird at the end there, obviously, but in a very enjoyable way. There's not enough jazzy shit in this game. Jazzy shit is super fun. That is Blood, Sweat, and Tears for anyone who missed it. Spinning Wheel is the name of the song. Just telling you, that jazz shit is super fun on drums. You should try it sometime. This next song is not that jazz shit. It's that rock shit. And you know, it rocks. Here we go.
Summer's coming too fast. Winter's been here too long. If we keep wasting our days, pretty soon they'll be gone. Oh yeah, I've been out here all night. I've been out here all day with my eyes open wide, hoping that you will say everything is alright. We can be happy too if you look out for me the way I looked out for you. People take what they need, then they tell you get lost. Kindly leading you on while they're ripping you off. Oh yeah. I've been out here all night. I've been out here all day with my eyes open wide, hoping that you will say everything is alright. We can be happy too if you look out for me the way I looked out for you. If I sounded insecure, it's because I wasn't sure you were really I've been out here all night. I've been out here all day with my eyes open wide, hoping that you will say everything is alright. We can be happy too if you look out for me the way I looked out for you. You can stand there all night. You can stand there all day. You can do what you like. It doesn't matter to me.
That one always gets me going in a way that some of the other stuff, even the fast stuff, doesn't. I don't know. There's something about that beat, man. Holy shit. Good fills, good beat, all that shit. It's just too much fun. That's probably one that I've played a lot of too. I don't know if the most, but it's definitely one that is high on the replay list. Okay, let's see what's next. Woo! Oh, here's another good one.
I got a day with the night, hurting at my finger. Gonna catch a kid strike, gonna walk on water, flying out the fight. We're sweating in the winter, bonfire sweet pie.
One of only 2 songs by the AA has in this game. Maps is also a very good song, and we will play it eventually. But I think there should be more. That is my constant refrain, right? I love this band. There should be more of it here. Maybe I should just stop saying that because I feel like if I say I like a band, that probably means I want more of it. Just saying. All right, what do we got? 6 left? Trying to remember what's next. Again, this all came together very last minute, so let's see what we got. Oh, okay.
Wearing nothing is divine, naked is a state of mind. I take things off to clear my head, to say the things I haven't said. Living inside the elements, the open sky are my best friends. Water is the evidence that washes me from end to end. With my naked eye, I saw the falling rain coming down on me. With my naked eye, I said it all. I could see it's not a choice I tried to make. It's not a thought I couldn't take. Something told me it was time to give you yours and leave me mine. A vision started to be clear. I watched the sunlight coming near. I knew the day, I knew the night. I knew I could regain myself.
Yes, another one of those where it's pretty much, well, it's like 2 beats. But those beats are very fun. I don't mind playing those program beats when they're fun. And that one's fun. 5 more? 5 more. Let's do it. Let's keep it moving. Huh. Thing again. I missed the first note. We don't do that. Remember? We don't do that. You know, that's close enough. Sorry. I hate to do this to you. I just got to get it going. I got to get it going. The worst part is that I think I would have gotten all of it if I had just gone back and done that intro one more time. But you know what? I didn't want to. I just wanted to go. And we went. And we did. And we played it. And there it is. My favorite AFI song, which I don't have very many. AFI's fine. They're not my favorite band, but they're fine. Days of the Phoenix is inexplicably the only one that's not in here of like their bigger songs. And I really don't know why. Licensing, masters, who knows? But I like that song because it is about the Phoenix Theater, the place I grew up hanging around. Like, they wrote that song about that place. And I want to play it, damn it. All right. 4 more. Let's power through. one of those bands that don't know how they, I mean, I know how they ended up in the game. They're like a Boston favorite, but nonetheless, wild. Wild that there are 3 Mission of Burma songs in this game. And great. Mission of Burma, very good band. All right. Final 3. Final 3 for today. And then we'll be back next week. And provided I get enough practice time in, next week we will be playing the songs from Guitar Hero World Tour that never made it into Rock Band, which is, I think, something like 32, 33 songs. So it'll be, good sized playlist. And I think that'll be fun. There's some good songs on that soundtrack. Some not great ones, but some really good ones, too. So I think that'll be a good time. But that will be next week. This week, we continue to play Rock Band, and we'll be done with play a few more songs. Several more Guitar Hero games have showed up, by the way. I just went ahead and just ran the table and just got them all, the ones that at least have drums in them. So Metallica and Band Hero showed up today, and I have Warriors of Rock also. And I think Van Halen and Smash Hits are on their way, too. Smash Hits, there's only like 10 songs in there that never made it anywhere else, so maybe we'll do a double up on that one with something else. Remember Band Hero? God, what the hell? I'm not saying the plastic instrument genre deserved to die, but Activision really pushed that one. They really pushed that one maybe further than they should have, is all I'm saying. All right, let's see what we got next. Okay.
Fields where nothing grew but weeds. I found a flower at my feet, bending there in my direction. I wrapped a hand around its stem, I pulled until the roots gave in, finding there what I've been missing. And I know, so I tell myself it's wrong. There's a point we pass from which we can return. I felt the cold rain of the coming storm. All because of you. I haven't something so long. When I do, I dream of drowning in the ocean, longing for the shore where I can lay my head down. I'll follow your voice. All you have to do is shout it out. Inside my hands, these petals brown, dried up, falling to the ground, but it was already too late now. I pushed my fingers through the earth, returned this flower to the dirt, so it could live. I walked away now, but I know not a day goes by that I don't feel this pain. There's a point we pass from which we can't return. I felt the cold rain of the coming storm. All because of you. I haven't something so long. When I do, I dream of drowning in the ocean, longing for the shore where I can lay my head down. I'll follow your voice. All you have to do is shout it out. All because of you. All because of you. All because of you. I haven't something so long. When I do, I dream of drowning in the ocean, longing for the shore where I can lay my head down inside these arms of yours. All because of you. I believe in angels, not the cosmic wings. No, not the coward halos, the kind that bring you home when home becomes a strange place. I'll follow your voice. All you have to do is shout it out.
I like Rise Against okay. They were a little late in the game as far as like the punk stuff I was listening to back then, but everything I've heard of them sounds pretty good. They seem fine. I don't know. There's a lot of those bands in this game. Just one's like, oh yeah, no, they seem pretty good, and then I never bothered to go actually listen to their stuff because yeah, I'm lazy, obviously. All right, 2 more. I'll talk to y'all in a second. Let's just play this next one, then we'll talk in for a sec. They trip you up there with the tom, the hi-hat thing. Like, you could do it that way, you could do it that way, I do it that way. Probably should do it that way. You know what I mean? Doing a lot of hand motions here, just kind of like this, just doing some, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Well then. We got one more song. One more. And then we're gonna stop for tonight. Thank you as always for joining me here on the drums. We will continue to drum next week. We will continue to do streams as we have been doing. We thank you as always for joining us as the lockdown continues. This next one, another band I'm surprised I didn't get to until now. It's an old favorite. I'm sure you've heard of it, especially if you're an anime fan. Here we go.
see you. 10 true summers will be there and laughing too. 24 before my love, you'll see I'll be there with you. I will remember you. Your silhouette will charge the view of distant atmosphere. Cold in morning, driving through the sound and even in the valley. In and around the lake, mountains come out of the sky. They stand there. One mile over, we'll be there and we'll see you. 10 true summers, we'll be there and laughing too. 24 before my love, you'll see I'll be there with you. In and around the lake, mountains come out of the sky. They stand there. 24 before my love, and I'll be there.
is! That song's wicked fun. Whew! It's that middle part that always gets me, like the right, left, left, you know, that whole thing. But that time, I was better than it. That time. Paradiddles, right, that's the word I'm looking for. My brain is melting. I'm sorry. With that in mind, I think we're going to wrap up here for tonight. Thank you, as always, for joining me on this continuing musical adventure from home. I've gotten word, hang on, I'm getting word in my ear here. There might be a secret Jeff stream coming up. I don't know. Maybe. But if there is, if you want to stick around, maybe check out the super secret Jeff stream, perhaps, if you want that. We'll see. I got a message. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. I bet it will. With that in mind, so stick around if you want to check that out. Just thank you for checking out this. We'll be back tomorrow with many more streams. We'll be back next week with more streams, including more of this. Be excellent to each other, everyone. For the love of God, please be excellent to each other. See you next time. Gonna hit the button. There it is.